Broadcast live.
We out here with Musa Keys.
Yes, sir.
What's up, my bro?
I'm
You
delicious,
good?
bro.
Welcome
How are you doing?
to the Unplug, man. I'm good, thank you.
Thank you for welcoming me.
Now, so Musa Keys, you know, one of the things that when I listen to my piano, you know, which is for me has been this incredible genre, and like the thing that really stands out. I'm a musical person, right?
Yeah.
I literally go, yo, the soul that these cats have, you know, is just incredible.
Yeah.
And you never know because my piano literally doesn't have videos, so you don't know who it is.
Yeah.
You know,
who's behind which song. And
exactly.
All of that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but you one of the guys that like I'm like, I remember myself listening to Nyasfela and I was like, I was in my emotions. You know, I was like, yo, you know. And then I met the guy who does the song.
Yeah.
Please tell me, where you from, bro?
I'm born in Giyani, raised in Polokwane, and then I went to varsity in Pretoria. Yeah, my grandmother raised me till like I was like around like 6 after grade 5, sorry. Then after grade R, I moved to Polokwane with my mom. Did my grade 1 to grade 12 in Polokwane, PCS, then went to Tomnodia Hoërskool, Afrikaans speaking school. It was hectic.
Serious?
It was really hectic. Crazy thing, I never thought I would be doing music. You know, when I went there, the initial plan was for me to study EGD so that I could be an architect. Or I could be a civil engineer because they offered civil engineering services and all of that. Then I moved to Gauteng. I was like, yo, I don't love books, bro. I don't love sitting down and reading. I'm an audio learner. Yeah. You know, I listen and then I learn. So for me, it was like, yo, let me do something. Let me rather study something that is within my area, what I'm doing. Because I was just doing music for fun, you know. Yeah. But I was like, you know what? Let me just take it for like a life thing, you know. Let me be super serious about it. And then studied sound engineering by Demlin in Pretoria. Dropped out on my second year to get rich.
The money was slow. You were losing money in Demlin. You weren't getting money.
I was losing money, bro. I don't want to lie. I lost a lot of money. I used to even sacrifice a lot of my own money trying to make it work, you know, trying to make the music work. Sometimes they would send me an allowance. Then I would have to like maybe budget properly. And I'm like, you know what, for this month, let me sacrifice. Let me eat noodles and so. And tin stuff and all of that for this month so that I can have, let's say, at least maybe 800 extra to push whatever I need to push. If it's a studio session, then, or if I need to travel to like mid-range to work with an artist and all of that, I have the money, the funds for that. So yeah, then I was raised in church. You know, I spend a lot of time in church. I'm spiritually led. I meditate a lot on my career. I think the reason I'm here is because I've been meditating and I've been spiritually led. Yeah. You know, so yeah.
So in church, like how committed were you to the church? You know, I mean, is that where you kind of found the piano and you started going in?
Yeah, I was super committed. I would go to church on a Wednesday. I would go to church from Wednesday to Sunday. You know, sometimes even Mondays if we have like prayer nights and all of that. Church raised me. I won't even cap. Church raised me big time. My mom was not really at home a lot of times. She was out for work. I used to be babysitted by my uncle, who did not spend too much time at home too, when he should be. So for me, it was like, yo, you know, I have nothing else to do but to just come back home, go play, come back to the house. Let me rather like do something else. Started participating, being an usher at church, you know, being a servant, being a disciple of the church and all of that. Served in church. Then I started learning how to play the piano. Crazy thing, as soon as they taught me the basics, the guys who played had to leave. not the country, the city, to a different city for holidays, and I was the only one who was left. They're like, yo, you're the only guy who's gonna handle those things, so you need to come to rehearsals and play. So I had to learn a lot of things at the same time, like in a short period of space, you know. Imagine the pressure of learning basics today on a Monday, having to play on a Friday.
Oh my Lord.
That was just like, damn, this is so much pressure. But I feel like that's also what helped me in every way. I've always been put under pressure. So I work good under pressure, so yeah.
So you're sitting there in church, you are hoping that the choir doesn't hear the mistakes,
Yeah.
you know?
Also, they understood.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yo, they don't have a choice but
Yeah.
to bring in me. Because if they're trying to get other musicians want like a big budget. Plus the church I'm from looked like it was like a big budget kind of church. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So yeah, we used to have EFTs in church. So obviously when you're a musician, they call you to church, you're like, no ways.
You know the
I have to bump the cheese up.
invoice details.
You know
yeah.
the invoice, yeah.
Damn. And so that's where the name Keys, the Keys came in.
Yeah.
What's your real surname?
Makamo.
Musa, so you Musa Makamo.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. And then Keys came in while you were at the church there.
Yeah. I had to find a name. Instagram made me do that actually.
For real?
Yeah, because I was like, I named myself like Musa Makamo, and I'm like, ish. Actually, I feel like that's too much originality, you know? People have nicknames and all that, and I would love to have that too. And then I was like, you know what, let me try and get a stage name to build a brand, you know? Let me try build a brand. And then I went from Musa Piano, Musa the piano player, you know, all of those things. And I'm like, you know what, let me just simplify it. Musa's my real name. Let me put something else that defines what I do, which was playing the keys. We called the keyboard keys.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Actually, let me name myself Musa Keys. And then, yeah, from then, God was like,
That's the one.
that's the one. Let's move.
Was the Keys, when you were calling yourself Keys, was that linked to the genre Mapiano, or was it just you, you're on the keys?
Yeah, just me on the keys. I used to do a lot of piano gigs, you know. I actually had a band.
Oh, for real?
I was part of a bands actually,
Yeah.
outside of church, you know. We used to do gigs and all of that. So I figured that for you to become a popular musician, you needed a nickname.
Yeah.
You know, there were some guys who played like drums. His name is like Chopsticks. The other one is like Keys what. And just like, okay, I also need that trendy name that can build my brand.
Dope.
Yeah.
It's dope. So from then on, where does the big break come for Musa now? Where you're like, okay, people are checking for you, or there's this song you dropped and it just did something that you weren't expecting?
My first year, actually, dropped my first EP. Oh, I'm a piano EP, yeah. Because I remember I dropped a trap, how can I call it?
Trap piano.
No, it's gospel fused with trap music.
Uh-huh.
So remember, I'm from church. So
Yeah,
everything I did, the way I played on music, it just sounded churchy.
Yeah.
So I had to like make something that worked, you know. At that time, Migos was running.
Yeah.
Migos was like trapping us out heavily. So I was like, you know what? Let me actually make a fusion of my sound and that. And then I dropped an EP. And then, yeah, it got listeners and all of that. I used to drop music covers actually on YouTube, Instagram, where I was just playing the piano, playing along to build the brand. So by the time I dropped that EP, people were like, yeah. I had listeners. Don't know how much though. And then I moved on. When I went to varsity, I met this other guy called Cartonic SA. He hit me up before, you know, in the beginning of the year, you're like chilling at home before like parents are sorting out your comms and all of that and all of that. Cool, I'm chilling at home. He calls me, he's like, yo, bro, saw your video on YouTube and Instagram and I got your number from Facebook. Let's work, let's do something. I'm like, all right, clean, bro, let's work. And then came to my house, made my first beat with him. Well, he came with beats, I just played the piano on top and then I recorded a video and posted it. People liked it. I'm like, oh, damn, this is actually dope. He's like, you know what, let's actually drop a project together. Then I'm like, all right, cool, bet. Then I had to move to Gauteng. He stayed. Moved to Gauteng, he sent me projects, worked on them. So it's cool. As a first year learner, they don't allow you to use the studios.
Yeah.
You know, so I did not have a studio, did not have anything. All I had was a laptop and that laptop was meant to work for school stuff.
Yeah.
My mother bought that thing for school stuff.
Theory,
whatever, you know, school assignments, all of that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Let me just figure it out. got some guy from the school who actually liked my music. You know, he's like, you know what? I can book a studio on your behalf. I'll go in with you. You'll work. Yeah. I'm like, you know what? That's cool, bro. Let's go in. We did that. I completed that EP. We dropped it. It was an instrumental EP. Then my best friend then moved closer to me, which was in Pretoria still. He stayed in Headfield. I stayed in like Central. And he's like, and then usually on weekends, I would used to go to his place, sleep by him and all of that. Then he's like, you know what? Let me record vocals, bro. And I'm like, this guy is taking chances. He's trying to play.
He wants to record.
Yeah, I'm like, this guy is trying to play with my craft, dog. I'm serious about this thing. He's trying to play around. He's like, nah, let me just record. We recorded him. The song moved, Heat Overload. That was my first song that I would say that got my name out there, you know. My best friend is Cypher. He's also a musician. So, and then from then, it just became like a super big thing, you know. We started moving different, you know, like, let's get a manager. Let's do this, let's do that. Let's try to get interviews. Let's try to get on radio and all of that. And then I started making, we were actually a trio, it was three of us, Cypher, D-Trill, and myself. And then we had to split, you know, because work ethic is not the same. You know? I'm always working and all that. So it just felt weird because now he's a trap guy. The third guy was a trap guy. The both of us are piano bros.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make everything work, you know, but the work ethic was not the same. The energy was not the same. So it was like, you know, we started dropping off one by one. Then I started doing my own thing. And then I produced Samarian boy at my friend's studio. I used to go to his place and like record keys for his artists. So like he used to work with a lot of artists, and then he just called me and then I would just do my thing there. And then this other day, I'm like, you know what? Let me try singing. You know, it's not like I can't sing. I know how to keep a key.
Of course.
Let me just try it out. Recorded Samarian boy, posted a story. Like I didn't feel it. He left the studio, he went to the house. And then I sent him a VN. I'm like, yo, listen to this thing. How does it sound? So the plan for me was to mumble rap or like just mumble everything.
Yeah.
And then change those mumbles into lyrics.
Lyrics, yeah.
And then I mumbled everything. I sent it to him. He's like, yo, dope. This thing is dope, bro. And I'm like, I'm planning on changing this. He's like, don't. Leave it at that. Don't add lyrics. Leave it like that. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm just tired. I've been making music like since 2 p.m., dog.
Yeah.
It's like 3 a.m. right now. So maybe my ears are just tired. I don't hear what you're hearing. Let me go sleep. I went to sleep around like 4 a.m. Woke up. Crazy enough, my hits are made in the AMs. So I think that's my formula.
Yeah.
And then I moved, went to sleep. In the morning, I played that song. I'm like, damn, this song is spiritual. Like, it's very spiritual for me. And then that's when I dropped it, and then I dropped it. But I never gave it attention, you know. I didn't like the song because I feel like it was rushed.
Yeah.
Crazy enough, the same guy that I recorded the song at, his computer got like screwed. So his hard drive like got really badly screwed. We couldn't get anything, any backed up anything. So the version that I exported last was the last version of the song. So even when I would try to get deals, they say they want this, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't chop remix. I tried making a remix, but I had to do it in a different way, you know? So, hey, it was just tricky, bro. And then Samarian boy came through. Then everything just changed. When I dropped Vula Mlomo was just like the paraffin to the fire, you know? Yeah, from then I just feel like everything was changed, you know? Changed the game.
That scatting, did you know, and it's scatting, you know, like, did you, I was just like, how did that come up, you know, like,
crazy thing, that's Nobunto singing that thing, you know. I'm a mumble guy. I do those kind of vibes. But that one was specifically Nobunto. But for me, personally, I don't know why I found myself in that kind of vibe where I'm just like doing weird things, you know. So I just feel like God just made me like that. For me, it's normal. But for people, okay, for me, it's weird. But for people, it's normal. That's how it caught me off guard. I'm like, damn. So people really like it when you find that there's a song, I can play a song, it has lyrics. People don't sing word for word. But when it gets to those weird things, they sing word for word.
Because you know what, I think like you've got it's almost like programmed. It's like, you've got a spirit where like you can hum things and you can feel them. And that's where your feeling is at the strongest with the music. So when you put the words, it's like there's too much thought, but then people feel that peak of your feeling. You know, it's
Yeah.
like that. You know, sometimes you're like, and you don't even know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But that's the peak of the feeling. And
I
in your
feel
words, you're like,
yeah.
I'm still gonna put in the words, but that's where the feeling was. You know, when
Yeah.
you put in the words, that's the thought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like that's what works for me also. You know, like people, my music is very feelings orientated. You know?
Yeah,
I make
yeah.
my music with feelings.
Yeah.
If you listen to my music, it's smooth at the same time it's banging.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
smooth because I'm a soft guy.
Yeah,
You know, I love soft stuff. I wouldn't make a club bang. I can.
Yeah.
It's just that it's not my go-to. If they
Yeah.
would say choose between this kind of music and this kind of, I would prefer making like classical music. I believe that my music is classical music.
Yeah,
Till
yeah.
today, when I perform Samarian Boy, it sounds super, super new. Even when I listen to it, it sounds. You know, like when you listen to a song, you're like, damn, bro, is that you?
No, your songs are gonna be in my, I think, you know, because this is what I felt about like some of the songs on my piano, and your songs also. They're gonna be the songs that they play after 4 or 5 years
You
that are
understand?
gonna define an era.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, you know those old house songs that they play.
Exactly.
Literally, your songs are gonna define the era because
Yeah.
even if the beat can get old, the melodies are always gonna be like.
Yeah,
You know what I
I've
mean?
always believed in making classical music. I hate making 2-minute noodle songs,
Yeah.
you know. Like today,
Because you used to eat
chippies.
2-minute noodles all the time.
You understand? I'm sick and tired of that thing. So yeah, for me, it's like I need to make classics, bro. To a point whereby even when we look back, they're like, damn, this guy's catalog. I don't want to play. I don't think I've dropped a song where people listen to it this week, next week they done.
Yeah.
Like they listen to it for a long period. Even when they listen to it like years later, it's like, damn,
Yeah.
this is actually some good music. So yeah.
Why did you call your album the title you gave it?
Source of joy. I personally believe that I'm like the source of joy to a lot of people around me. You know, I'm a giving, sharing person. I just love making people happy. I love compromising. You know, some people always come to me. They're like, "Dog, why are you not the superstar that you are?" I'm like, "No, dog. Even though I can be a superstar or whatsoever, y'all are still human at the end of the day. Y'all don't deserve less treatment because of that." And also, I just believe that my music as a whole is the source of joy. So Tayo means source of joy.
Tao, what language is that?
It's Nigerian.
Ah, okay, cool. I mean, I even saw the album, you know, it is, I listened to the album and like, you know, the musicality is so consistent, you know, and the deliberate collaboration, you know, it's like you've collaborated with so many vocalists.
Yeah.
You know, one would think that because you got the singing, you just want people to just jump in, but like you had so many vocalists singing and you've got different ranges that you've selected, right?
Yeah.
How do you decide what range is going to be needed here and how does that work, you know? Because I saw you here, you're also like a conductor.
Yeah,
That's from church, yeah?
Yeah. I used to be a band leader, actually. So, like, I know, I even told the guys, I'm like, yo, gents, please don't play too much. Don't play around too much because it's going to distract me.
Yeah.
Because I have that ear for the music, you know? So, but for me, it was like, I needed to create a masterpiece. You know, this is an album, it's my debut album. I needed to create something that even when I go to listen to it next year, I'm like, damn. I personally believe that my album is like Wizkid's album.
Yeah.
Wizkid dropped the album, it had hype, but not too much hype.
Yeah.
Over months, it became one of the biggest albums. Even right now, the people that dropped the most hyped albums did not even reach what the album reached, you know? So I personally believe that my album is also like that. Putting it together, I had to put a storyline. The album is basically about my love life.
Yeah.
You know, there are so many love songs, the kind of feelings that I've been going through. You know, I just had to put everything together. And also the musicality needed to match, you know, like the standard needed to be the same. That's why, hence, I selected the songs that I selected. So yeah.
And the drip?
Drip God, you know. Hey man, I feel like if I don't get the best dressed artist of the year, I'm being disrespected.
Listen, I know because we had a shoot and you were going somewhere for another brand and they're like, yo, I just gotta go to Santon, I gotta go get some stuff. My stuff is already waiting. I was like, yo, this man with these clothes, you know what I mean?
I'm very big on that, you know. I figured that I needed to make fashion and music work together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that plays a huge role in music, you know. And also, hey man, how I dress complements how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm dripped out like this, I feel happy. I feel amazing. it also helps me give out the good energy. You know? Also, when I make my music, I love making my music looking good.
Yeah.
Well,
listen, bro, I want to say this. From what I've heard, from what you're doing, and just where you at, I don't want you to ever box yourself as an amapiano artist.
I never boxed myself.
Don't ever be comfortable with even people boxing you like that.
I actually have an R&B tape ready.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the time for me to be ready about it. You know? I have an R&B tape. I'm trying to work on pop music now. You know?
I was about to say, would you got to look at yourself and even your growth in the industry beyond you just being the superstar? You got to literally look at yourself as a producer. You're about to produce like great music that's not even coming from you.
True.
And that's what you're going to add to this landscape and beyond.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And right now you're going to be in the front seat as the superstar, but like you can switch it up and just go, you know what? Because I listened to your album and like your album is like a producer.
Yeah.
The people that you have, how you've done all that stuff, you're like a producer already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I produce my own music. I sing on my own music.
But besides just like, even when you start going vocally or who I want to get or the sounds that you know, I even saw how you had the guys here with regards to how you were like, okay, you do this, like from the singing perspective, you know, you already like know how you want the sound to come out.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? You're already engineering without the engineering material. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that you gotta remember that like your first passion besides everything else is the music. And as long as you stick to improving the music and hearing other people and seeing how they can sound better, you'll always have a place in this space. As long as you can see that with other people and yourself, you'll always have a space.
I feel
Musa Keys, we Unplugged.
Shout out.
Thank you, my bro.
Shout
Thanks
out.
for performing for us and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Peace.
Broadcast live